we'll put pressure on them, we'll fine them, we'll do these things. So then they reran that play for choke point 2.0, but rather than weed and guns, which you might have your issues with weed and guns, they actually did it on emerging industries like crypto and fintech. And we had dozens of companies kicked out of the banking system simply for, in a very legally compliant way, trying to build a company that would employ people and like make the country strong. I mean, these are kind of important technologies, important things, and it's great if that technology comes from America, because if it doesn't come from America, it's coming from somewhere else. And it's just a very difficult situation, I would say.
And then what's the impact of it on a startup or a startup founder being kicked out of the banking system?
Well, it's pretty tough. I mean, so you go, okay, now I need to raise more money. Where do I wire the money? Well, we don't have a bank, so it's much harder on a technology company actually than a weed company. It's hard on a weed company because, you have to store your money in cash, and then you can get robbed, and, you create a lot of criminal activity. You have this big honeypot that you can go, after. But it's worse for a tech company because tech companies require new investment, from outside investors. And it's really hard to have somebody, wire you $20 million if you don't have a bank account.
Or be able to do business on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Collect revenue, be able to pay expenses, be able to function, be able to get pay, actually have a way to execute payroll.
Right. You can't, right. As a new technology company, you can't ask everybody to pay you in cash.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So, so it's basically the way I think about the debanking is it's sort of an extra legal, unconstitutional, completely outside the bounds of any law. Or constitutional provision. It's the government,
but very effective,
applying pressure. The government regulators applying pressure on banks to basically sanction American citizens and American businesses. It's sort of the equivalent of like sanctioning the Iranians or the Russians. Yeah, but you're like sanctioning American citizens.
It's actually identical to sanction. That's a good analogy, I think.
Yeah,
it's
but
saying,
with no,
you can't trade in dollars.
Right, but with no law. Like no law says you can do that. No, there's no authority. There's no due process. There's no appeal.
Nope.
There's no nothing. It's just straight act of authoritarian, essentially violence.